Folks, it has been way too long because we've been very busy doing other life things, but we'd like to welcome you all to, what is this, episode 6? Episode 6 of the Crossroads of Reality podcast, to what we're calling the super mega episode, because oh boy, we have a lot to talk about. I'm Ben, who am I joined by?
Richard.
Of course. So,
As always.
This is our show, and we have nothing better to do.
Yeah, it's our show.
Practically.
So, we're going to start off with the amazing race.
Because we have little to talk about.
So last time we were here, it was the first half of the mega leg. Mm-hmm. And so now, obviously, after 3 weeks, I would hope we would have completed the mega leg. And we sure did.
And thank God with how it ended. Rich and Dom are gone, baby.
Listen.
Woo!
This is a very opinionated duo. And I think the fact that we were very indifferent about Rich and Dom
leaving. I did not like them. No, you could say indifferent. I did not like them.
Here's the thing. I just have the opinion of I don't like to dislike someone until I have a reason to. Like they're a bad person, and to say they were annoying on TV is one thing. Also, we also know reality edits are sometimes not the most flattering, but I digress. With that all said, Rich and Dom, I was very indifferent about them leaving.
They turned the Amazing Race into a crying drama fest, which no other team did.
Well,
no,
Sharik did.
No, she was just a whiner. There's a difference.
She did cry at the end of the mega leg. Again, now moving on to the next episode. Guess who went home?
Lynn and Sharik gone, which all right, you know. Sharik. I liked them, but I'm fine with
I
them.
liked them, but I kind of got it. It was like they had their experience, and like I didn't really. Honestly, I think it was their time to go. I didn't think they needed to get anything else out of it. Unlike the next duo, who deserved to get a lot more out of their experience than they did. Abby and Will got medically removed after positive COVID tests.
Which just sucks, but also, like, this is not a bash of them. I feel bad for them. They were great. I'd love to see them come back. This is a bash of the episode. They revealed it at the beginning. So any interest I had in that episode was just immediately lost.
Yeah, but it had to be addressed.
I know, but it's just like, you know.
What, you wanted them to, like, fake edit them in and then just reveal it at the end? Whoops, they have COVID.
That'd be very funny. But, you
know.
I don't know. Either way, I feel bad for Abby and Will because I like them a lot.
I agree.
I'd love to see them come back later. Or just in another season. Lynn and Sharik, like, their shelf life had run out, and, you know, that made sense. Rich and Dom, see ya. No other words. So, in terms of who's left, fuck yeah, Derek and Claire.
Very happy that they're back, and they're still doing decently well. Yeah. I like the twins. Glenda and Lumumba, I still love them.
I like them. My dream final three, what is it, like, final three, like, pairs?
Well, yes.
Towards the end. It would be Derek and Claire, Glenda and Lumumba, and Marcus and Michael. Marcus and Michael are such a funny team to me.
Yes.
Because they are good, but they stumble backwards.
But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take Marcus and Michael, and I'm going to switch them out for the long-lost twins.
They're cool.
I like the twins. My fourth and fifth would be Marcus and Michael and the Rams cheerleaders, Quinn and Maddie, because I like them a lot as well. Again, the others, I'm sort of indifferent. Watching the dancers.
I know nothing.
Watching the dancers stumble through the dance challenge last episode was very fun.
I know nothing about Aubrey and David, and I know nothing about Luis and Michelle other than their dancers.
Well, Luis and Michelle are not dancers. Aubrey and David are ballroom dancers, and then Luis and Michelle are married. I think one of them has a dance background. I'm not sure. But I agree with you. I would love Derek and Claire to win this season. I would love it. I mean, that was obvious. But I would be absolutely very happy with Glenda and Lumumba as well, or the twins, or the military brothers. Like, those four I really like, with Quinn and Maddie as a close coming up. And it's not to say that I don't like any other team. It's just that, again, I sort of feel indifferent.
Yes.
So, yeah.
So, I don't know if that says more about the teams or about the show.
I think it says a lot about kind of editing. Yeah. I will say, though, in all fairness to editing and everything else, I feel like Derek and Claire we would feel indifferent about if they weren't from Big Brother.
Yeah.
I think just having the background knowledge of them and having seen them before makes us like look upon them more favorably. But with that said, they were on reality TV, and so with that said, we do look upon them more favorably.
Yes, but here's the thing: Derek and Claire, even on Big Brother, they're very just like chill, calming presences. But they came to play the game, and they play it very well. So honestly, like I hope they win. And this is also just interesting things that Wikipedia... Thank you, Wikipedia. You are a reliable source, and I will die on that hill. Rex Ryan was originally asked to compete with Rob Ryan, but the latter was unable to due to his work obligations with the Raiders. So that's where Golf Buddies came from. And then apparently Aubrey and David were not selected for the final cast, but were backups and called 2 hours to compete before they started production.
Wow.
Which I respect.
Well, that's happened before where last minute things have to be switched
Tiffany
around.
on Survivor 41 was an alternate, so...
Really?
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Speaking of which, Survivor casting department, bring Tiffany back for All-Stars. She was great.
Yeah.
She was one of the better parts of that season, even though she was the merge boot.
True.
But
I mean, speaking of that show...
Yes, Survivor. We have much to talk about with Survivor. So let's start with Episode 4, Show No Mercy.
Yep.
So this was, and again, spoiler alert. Again, should have said it top of show. Spoiler alert. But
It doesn't matter.
This was the rise of Vezi. Vezi kind of rising from the ashes, and Lindsay paranoia-ing her way out of the game.
This is the same. Okay, this is the reason why if I was in the game, I would have gotten rid of Cassidy right now because she nearly. Again, spoilers for way too far into later on, but I think Cassidy was very close to paranoiing her way out of the game as well. Just when you're on Survivor, I understand that it's very easy to get paranoid. That's part of the game. That's part of the beauty and the psyche of the game. But with that, you need to understand that your paranoia sets other people off. In this case, Carla and James. So, which I need to say this right now. Carla, and I will die on this hill, Carla and Sammy are my front runners, my favorites right now.
Favorites or front runners to win the game?
Both. Especially Carla. Carla's in an extremely good point. You know what? Let me explain that later on once we have full context of everything that we've seen. But yes, Lindsay was taken out. Yeah. Carla and James in a really great position in this episode because they were the
they controlled.
They've
been controlling Coco, especially because Lindsay kind of riding herself off the edge like that. Them voting her out made more sense. Looping in Ryan was, a solid plan. But here's the thing. I think the Geo blindside needed to happen because my man was so way too cocky.
Was so cocky.
And he had power in the game.
Yes.
Which again, also Survivor production, knowledge is power does not work. Yep. Never bring it back ever. Oh man. But with that said, I think that's a big reason as to why Carla and James kept Cassidy, and also Cassidy was just going to be a more loyal alliance member at the end of the day.
But I want to add this on right now. I'm going to bring up a point that Stephen Fishback made on the Rob Has a podcast. And that is one of my big issues with the knowledge is power advantage. I agree with Fishback, and that is why do we have this when a major part of the game is lying?
Yeah.
What? You can't lie once this question is asked of you because of this advantage. No! It's dumb. Mm-hmm. The whole point of the game is to lie. Lie, cheat, steal, do whatever you have to do to win the goddamn $1 million, but do what you need to do.
It takes the fun out of life.
Yes. And with that said, I must ask you this question. I don't remember if we covered this on last one or not, but do we think survivors should be allowed to look through each other's bags?
Oh, yes.
I think they should.
I agree.
I agree with Fishback. Again, it is part of the game it is part of the beauty of the show to throw people on an island and let them do what they do. Unless you are barred from looking through someone else's bag in real life. Like, honestly, part of life is the fact that I could, like, go over to like, I don't know, Ben's backpack and open it. Like, what's stopping me except for morals? What's stopping me? In this situation, unless, like, genuinely, like, if I can go over to you or like any of your friends and just open up your bag physically in real life outside the game and look through it, you should be able to do the same thing in the game. I don't see why we would stop it. I think that's dumb. I agree with Fishback. I think they should be allowed to look through each other's bags.
Yeah, I mean, I fully agree. I think it's a part of the game. It hasn't been a problem before now. I don't really see why it needs to be a problem. So I'm cool with looking through the bags, and it created for a great moment at the merge, which we will get to in a second. But also something I feel like we should talk about with the Lindsay Boot episode is Vezi blatantly helping Baka to win the immunity challenge, which I thought was kind of funny.
Oh, that was great.
That
was great.
Followed immediately.
It was great.
That followed immediately by Sammy hitting the gritty. Like, all right, I know he lied that he was 22. That's very much showing your age. I mean, I'm 19. Richard, you're very close to being 19.
Yes.
I wouldn't do that.
Neither would I. You are not going to catch me doing a gritty on national television.
With that said, it was probably the funniest thing I saw that week.
No, true.
Yeah.
Fully true. But let's move on to the Geo blindside.
Yes, episode 5, Stop with All the Niceness.
We already touched on it, but the knowledge is power advantage. Like,
Sucks.
Stop. Please stop. Like, honestly, I wish it was an idle nullifier now. Like, the idle nullifier... Okay. The knowledge with power advantage is dumb. And in a way, so was the idle nullifier. But at least the idle nullifier required finesse and was flashy. It added to the game.
But here's the thing.
It did not block any... okay. I am okay with an advantage that blocks another advantage. Not an advantage that adds more layers to another advantage. If that makes sense.
I think that they are afraid to bring it back after what happened to Janet on Island of the Idols.
That's fair.
Because Janet, I think, would have been, despite how hated the season is and would turn out to be, I think Janet would have been a huge beacon of light to win that game. Because she was loved by all. She was one of the people who stood up against Dan.
Yep.
And she basically had a path to Final 3. She played the idol at 5. She was amazing at making fire. So she would have won that and then easily win the jury vote.
Because she was very well liked, had a very good social game.
Yeah.
Like, there wasn't many people on the jury that did not like Janet.
With that said, bring back Janet.
Yeah.
What
That's
else?
a whole nother episode.
Yeah, that's all. Ooh, that's gonna be a fun one when we do.
But yeah, back to Geo blindside.
I can't believe Ryan
Gio
didn't. Ryan drank the Kool-Aid.
So first of all, Geo was very cocky, but we need to bring it back to Ryan because Ryan, what?
Also,
what?
Ryan really tried to play the Gabler Zane Knight game of like, I'm gonna put myself as the decoy.
Such an idiot. No, if anyone listening to this podcast for whatever reason you are, like ever goes on reality TV, you never put your own name in the box.
Exactly.
Never. Never. Like, that is the dumbest thing you could do. If you want to put a pawn out there, you use an affiliate.
Yep. For examples, Pooch and Big Brother 24 putting himself on the block. Not only that, Jordan Parhar, Big Brother Canada 3, putting himself on the block, throwing the veto. Zach wins the veto, doesn't take him down, and he gets evicted.
Like, okay, if you, like I said, if you want to use a pawn, you need to use an affiliate. Like, maybe even an alliance member, but that's even a stretch. An affiliate. Someone that you can convince that they are gonna be fine, but their name needs to go in there. Because somebody's does.
Yeah, I mean, like
if I'm on, okay, honestly speaking, if I'm Ryan, I would have, I know I just said non-alliance members, I would have thrown Gio. I would have thrown Gio.
Because Ryan and Gio were a tight pair, and here's the thing, Ryan doesn't know that Gio was the target, so Ryan could be like, I think we should take out Gio, and then Cassidy...
He's a physical liability, and we need to make a big move.
And then you can go to Gio and be like, all right, I think they bought it, but here's the thing. your name's being thrown out there. But Gio could have been like, oh yeah, because I tried to vote for Cassidy. That makes sense.
Also, Gio had knowledge is power. And as someone who knows that,
oh yeah, he told
Ryan.
Wait, no, did he tell Ryan? Jinx. I don't.
Gio, by the way, tells Carla,
Gio told Carla,
which only adds to her repertoire, because he and Ryan were a very solid duo, and the first person he tells is Carla.
Bad move.
Like, we knew they connected, but at the same time, he should have known after the Lindsay vote that things were not going his way.
Yeah.
Like, what? No.
Like, Gio, like, his confessionals, like, his first few confessionals.
So cocky!
After Coco lost was just like, well, I know Cassidy's going home. I don't know how we're going to break it to her. I'm sitting there like, you kidding me? Like, you're the target.
If you are ever this confident, you are either one of the greatest, or you're an idiot.
You're either Boston Rob or you're Wendy.
No, because here's what you need to mention. It needs to be remembered this. Even some of the greatest winners, Rob, Tony, Kim, Parvati, Sandra, all of them always had a level of it could be me. They never ever thought they were safe. Never. Unless everything was in their hands. Rob, yes,
Rob,
that's
yeah.
what I mean.
Love you, Rob, you're the best.
But let's look at like Tony and Kim. They always knew that there was a chance it would be them.
I would say Tony more than Kim.
Tony more than Kim, but I throw that in there because I remember, like, she understood the risk when she made those big moves, like to get out Tarzan and to do this and that. Mm-hmm. She understood the risk. And with Tony's just a whole nother level of kooky. Like, Tony, I don't know. But just generally, they always understood that they could be up.
Yeah.
They were never as cocky as Gio. And also, when Survivor Production throws in a confessional like Gio's, you know he's going home.
And like the next boot, which we'll get to. Is there anything else?
I think that's it. I'd like you to get to this next one.
The next episode. I don't know. Is there anything else we need to mention here?
I don't think so.
We do. One of the better voting confessionals of the modern age. This was Cassidy voting for Gio. You think you can play me, but the truth is, I'm the one that put blanks in your gun. I have the real bullets.
Who was that again?
That was Cassidy voting for Gio.
So
and
good.
And that's fire as
that was
fuck.
So good.
So good. Yeah, that's it. That's all I need to talk about. That's it. All right. Mergatory. Congratulations, Survivor. You fixed the merge
Thank you. They fixed the merge.
You actually did it.
They did a good merge. Woo!
Yeah, and it was the simplest fix. So
it was the simplest fix.
First of all, we're going to now talk positively about Ryan, who pulled a Spider-Man move to win his team like immunity and the merge buff. So sick. And again, shout out to Carla for, fighting her way through injury. That was insane. So Dwight, Janine, Jesse, Carla, Gabler, Ryan, and Noelle were safe. Ellie, James, Cassidy, and Owen, and then Sammy were the votes. Let's talk about Sammy for a second.
Yeah.
Every single person on the losing team got a vote except for him. That's damn good.
Damn. Well, that's also not surprising. If you look at the way that he's been playing this game, it's really, really not surprising.
Yeah.
He's been so good. It's really, really impressive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm genuinely impressed with how he fought his way out of that one. Vezi kind of coming together to vote for Ellie was great. Ellie just Ellie's Michelle Fitzgerald with no grip on reality.
Yeah.
Ellie, you were great, but you just kind of lost your mind, and you also got way too cocky, thinking that you were in good with the guys and that, friggin' Gabler wasn't going to find out about you stealing the idol. Or not stealing the idol, but looking through his bag. I mean...
That's very
Then
true.
again, it wasn't actually her. It was Janine.
Yeah.
Oh, also, Janine found an idol. She
Yeah.
found the bead wear advantage, which, yeah, all right, good for her. We thought she was going to play it for Ellie.
Yeah. We all
fully
did.
Thought she was gonna play it for Ellie.
And then
she
didn't.
And then she didn't. And here's the thing, she was like genuinely taken aback. I would have loved if it was a moment where it was like Janine was kind of like, I know that my number one target is, or not my number one target, my number one ally is on the block, but she kind of has to go, so I'm gonna like play it safe. I think if that's revealed, that would be sick.
Yeah.
But I doubt it will be. So yeah, Ellie being Survivor this season, and like most seasons this is the case, but I think especially this season, it has a great way of working itself out to where like you're always left with the most entertaining people. You're always left with the best game people. Like very few times.
That's very true.
Very few times it's been sort of like the other way around. It was almost like that on Big Brother this season.
If
the leftovers hadn't formed, if Amira didn't get evicted on week 3, then I think that would have sucked. But like this season, I think we should go through who's left in the merge and kind of like reassess at the moment, because I think that'd be kind of fun. But like this is a really good cast going forward.
Oh, I agree. It has.
Yeah.
I want to ask you what you think are gonna be like the tops and bottoms of.
Please don't say it like that.
Of this remaining merged tribe, like who's at the top, who's at the bottom. I think the bottom is without a shadow of a doubt going to be. I'm gonna throw his name in there, and it's gonna be Ryan. Ryan, without a shadow of a doubt, is gonna be at the bottom of this.
I could see Ryan winning immunity.
I would be now. Okay, I see that. I agree, but at the same time, I think that the minute they get a chance to get rid of him, they will. I think what's gonna be interesting to me is if the Baka 4 exists.
It won't.
If the Baka 4 exists, I don't know, but I think Sammy and Owen are gonna be together.
If any alliance of that kind is gonna exist, it's gonna be the Vezi 4.
It's gonna be the Vezi 4.
Cody, Dwight, Jesse, and Noelle are very tight.
Yes. Carla and James are gonna be a power duo to the end. It's giving.
Can we talk about the
It's giving Denise and Malcolm.
Yes, but can we talk about the Alla Gabler?
Can we talk about what's it called? Who was it? Ryan upside down on the ladder.
I already did.
Sorry, I'm out of it.
But no, freaking Mike Gabler made the merge on Survivor. He's gonna be on the jury, because let's be real, he's not winning the game.
He's not.
If Gabler wins the game, will you agree that Tommy's a better winner?
Yes.
Done. Okay, perfect.
I'll agree.
I just realized that, like, when it comes to both Survivor and Big Brother winners, I am a fierce defender of two people you don't like. Tommy and Andy.
Well, it's not that I don't like Tommy, and it's not that I don't like Andy. It's just that I don't... Well, okay. I don't think Tommy's a bad winner. I think that there was a better option than him. I think that he didn't... In my eyes, Dean beat Tommy.
Social game.
I understand. But all-round game.
You know Tommy actually applied for Big Brother.
And with 15... Really?
Yeah.
And with BB15, I just think the season as a whole is just very mid.
Yeah,
it's BB15 sucked.
BB15 had its moments. I'm not saying it's good,
but it sucked.
It's like if BB21 wasn't already sort of my guilty pleasure season, it would probably be 15. And yes, that's another hill I will somewhat die on. BB21 is kind of my guilty pleasure season.
Wasn't 21
Mickey? Yes. I pretend that like it's between the fall of Grateful and Nicole being evicted. That is the peak. Jessica winning HOH, putting up Jack and Mickey, Cliff being awesome.
Next.
Nick was awesome.
I'll say it again.
Tommy was good.
Who do we think is at the top and the bottom of this merged tribe?
Top is Carla and Sammy, and I don't think either of them are winning the game.
Really?
Yeah, because the way they're edited, it would be way too... I think it's way too obvious.
Carla,
I see Sammy as a fire-making loser. And I see Sammy as a fire-making loser, and I see Carla as this season's Ricard. Gonna be an amazing player at the merge and get voted out at Final 5.
Please don't put that in the world.
That's what I think is gonna happen. I'm trying to think who has a good shot. Right now I'm thinking, just based on the editing, Jesse or Noelle.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go back on something that we agreed on preseason. Cody. I am sorry. you are amazing.
Yeah.
Cody is one of the best Survivor players of the new era, not just from an entertainment standpoint, but from a game standpoint.
Whoa.
He's done great.
Please die on that hill.
Yep. Cody has had a great game so far. Simple as that.
You're not wrong, but that's a very audacious statement.
Yes, because out of these 3 seasons, there's already a good cast of 20 players.
Because I'll throw Ricard in there, and I'll throw Carla in there.
Ricard, Carla, Shan.
Really? That's going up there?
Yes. Say what you will. If Shan had all of UA and the good, first half of the merge by the throat.
That's true.
It was not until Deshawn and Ricard turned on her. Because if she made it past that, I think she wins the game.
You're actually not wrong.
Yeah. Which is actually, I think that's going to be Carla's floor, is Shan. I think her floor is Shan, and her ceiling is Ricard.
Yeah, you're not wrong about that one either.
Also, with how Justine's boot episode was edited, I really didn't think Dwight would make it this far. But fuck yeah, Dwight made it this far. I love Dwight.
That's true. So, who do we think is going home next?
Owen.
Really?
I think Owen could be a surprise boot because I don't think Janine trusts him. I think if it comes out that he voted for James, I don't think Gabler is going to trust him. I think they're going to find him as a little too duplicitous.
That's fair, but if he plays it right, I think Gabler could go.
Yeah, Gabler is...
If Ryan keeps going on the path he's been going, Ryan's gone.
I could also see Gabler becoming a GOAT.
Yeah, he could become this season's BB16 Victoria.
No, that's an insult to Gabler.
That is. I could see... I don't know. Yeah, Gabler and Janine could... either one of them could go. It's with the Bakas, it's a matter of they play their hand right.
They're not.
If they do, they're fine. If they don't, they're gone. The only one that, in my opinion, is actually safe is Sammy.
Yeah, Sammy. I think Sammy's gonna not. He didn't flame out. He didn't flame out.
Well,
respect.
What Sammy needs to do is Sammy needs to find a solid alliance.
Yeah.
He needs to find a solid alliance.
Which is also something I've sort of noticed about modern Survivor. There's not really clear alliances.
Except for Carla and James, there's nothing, and the Vezi 4, there's nothing clear right now.
Even then, the Vezi 4, we never really gotten not intense, but clear confirmation that yes, the Vezi 4 is a thing, and yes, the Vezi 4 is working together. That's something that happened last season with the Taku 4.
Yeah.
Because you always had Omer and you had Omer and Lindsay always working together. Jonathan was kind of there because he was, really well integrated, and no one saw Marianne as a threat until the final 6. So that's kind of how they were able to take power because everyone else fell to infighting. I think the biggest threat to the Vezi 4 is probably the Coco 3. Because I think Cassidy's going to stick around with Carla and James. I think I don't know. I don't really know.
I think you're actually right. I think I'm going to agree with you.
I don't know how everyone feels about Ryan.
I don't know, but you know what? I don't think it matters. I think he's honestly doomed either way. Mm-hmm. I don't see a world where things go right for him, honestly. The only the only way that he survives is if the other 3 Cocos can go home. And I mean in the next 4 to 5 episodes. All 3 of them need to go. And then I see him within a shot. But he's way too confident about his ability. And with Carla, James, and Cassidy there, they know what he did. And they would be very willing to kick his butt to the curb ASAP. Mm-hmm. Also knowing that he's a physical threat, again, kick to the curb ASAP. Yeah, I don't see how this ends well for Ryan. The only way is if he can find a solid alliance that can trust him, and even if they don't fully trust him, to keep him around enough to use him as a meat shield. I don't care. Mm-hmm. anyone that would be willing to keep him. Because at the moment, it seems like everyone is indifferent about him except for Carla, James, and Cassidy, who all want his butt kicked to the curb. Right. So there's no real good way that this probably ends for him.
Yeah. I kind of hate to admit that because I really do like Ryan. I also don't think James... I think James is kind of going to be this season's Deshaun.
100%.
I could see him getting second place, maybe getting a vote or two.
Likeable, goes to the end with Carla, maybe, and... Yeah.
You're really... I don't think
I'm
Carla's
riding...
Make it.
Yes.
I'd love to see Carla win, because Carla's been great, but I don't see her winning. I think she's going to be way too big a threat soon.
That's true.
However, the next time on Survivor Preview showed her working a lot with... Or not showed her working a lot, but like showed her starting to work with Jesse. And that could be something to take note of.
Yeah.
We haven't talked about Janine.
Yep. What do you want to talk about with Janine?
I don't think she wins unless she's like an Erica type, where she just really plays hard.
She needs to play hard, and it means now. Like if she just needs to have a really, really good post-merge.
I think if anyone's gonna be the Victoria, it's gonna be Janine.
Yeah. But that's if she only that's only if she really like continues the way that she's been going so far. She hasn't really been showing anything that is overly trusting of her ability to win this game at the moment.
Yeah. I don't know. I just don't see a lot of I guess the word would be winner equity in Janine.
That's true. Do we see a winner edit?
I'm awful at trying to take into account winner edits, analyze that sort of thing. If you see it, please tell us. But
I'm not gonna lie, I just see a lot of comparative edits to the past 2 seasons. Like you said, Carla to Ricard. I don't know. I'm trying to think. I mean, Lindsay was like a good mix of Tiffany and Heather.
Yeah. I guess.
I don't know. I'm just trying to think, but I don't see any clear winner at it. I want to throw this name in the mix, and this is a big eating my own foot moment, and it's Cody. I could definitely see Cody making it very far. He needs to just continue this way and keep the Vezi 4 as a strong Vezi 4. I would not be entirely surprised if the final 3 was 2/3, if not all 3 Vezi.
I could see if Dwight gets voted
that
out.
would just call for an absolute I-2-4 moment.
Yeah.
But with that said, I think with the way the game stands right now, if we're talking about looking into the future, I think the way at least in my opinion, the final 5 will be any 3 of the Vezi 4 and James and Carla. If you talk about strong relationships, which we know are so important, and I think that's where Sammy falls. I love Sammy. I would what I wouldn't do for him to make it all the way. But the issue for Sammy right now is there's a flaw in his game that is not even his fault. It is a matter of no one is really his strong ally. Mm-hmm. And you need a strong relationship. The reason why Carla, I see her doing well is because she has James. She has a partner. You look at Cody, Dwight, Jesse, and Noelle. They're a strong foursome. You do not see anyone with Sammy because the Baka other 3 is broken. Mm-hmm. Carla and James even have Cassidy. And I can see Cassidy moving with Carla and James as an absolute number. Yeah. If the next 4 to go is anyone except for Ryan and the 3 Bakas, Owen, Gabler, and Janine, in no particular order, I will, if it's them 4, I will not be surprised by any way. Mm-hmm. By any means. Mm-hmm. It's too obvious, though.
I think there is a very clear dichotomy of who can win and who probably won't. I think there's very few we're sort of in the middle on.
Yeah. I think, in my opinion, if I'm Sammy, I need to hide, but not completely. To the extent of if he wins challenges, like it's going to be over for him.
Sammy's got to lay low.
He needs to lay low physically, but not strategically. Like, he needs to go out and make big moves. If he can whittle himself into one of those big alliances and really build rapport, that would go, I think, a long ways for him. But with that said, I don't think he can afford to win more than one immunity challenge in the next, like, 4. Like, one win will be fine. And if it could be, like, a mental comp, even better.
Yeah.
Because you don't need to show off your strength right now. They know you're strong. Honestly, they know he's strong. He doesn't need to show off his mental side either. But he already damn didn't he? At the very beginning.
Oh yeah, right. I forgot about that.
But with that said, I think just he needs to, like, in challenges, lay low, but strategically make moves.
Yeah.
He needs to realize that the only person that really wants to stick with him right now is Owen.
Yeah.
So
even then, Owen didn't vote with the majority.
exactly. Even though Owen did not vote there, and Owen can sometimes be a loose cannon. But honestly, that term is kind of lost because you have Gabler right there, who is an actual loose frickin' cannon. Gabler wins this game.
I will.
We
laugh my
we
ass
need to
off.
put a forfeit on this.
If Gabler wins Survivor 43, I will laugh harder than I've probably ever laughed in my life.
I think no, but honestly though, I still think there will have been worse winners than Mike.
You're
Gabler.
probably right.
Because somehow, well, here's the thing: in 42 seasons, it's not hard. But yeah. Anything to add?
No, I think that about does it, and I think this next episode is going to say a lot
about where the game's going.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think the pre-merge spoke volumes. What I think is really awesome is that what's really cool in my opinion is that we're at a point in the game where every tribe has 4 people.
Yeah, that was
so now yeah.
That was almost the cool thing with the merge at 42, and then 2 VOTSI members got voted out back to back, and that was kind of like, all right.
Yeah, but now you're watching how the tribe dichotomy like actually breaks down and who does what. Yeah. I think Baka wants the Baka 4 to exist. It won't. Coco, that 3 exists with Carla, James, and Chastity. And Vazzy exists.
Here's the thing.
Very strongly.
I don't think she's gone. I don't think Janine's gonna want any sort of Baka 4 after Ellie was voted out.
No, but I think that she realizes that she needs the number. And no one's going to let her in. Because Gabler broke all trust.
Yeah.
If we're being honest, the only people from Baka that would be let into any alliance at this moment are Owen and Sammy because there's no dirt on their name. Yep. Gabler is seen as a loose cannon that will rat out anyone with a big flappy mouth, and Janine is seen as a snake. Mm-hmm. No one will let those 2 in. I think those 2 are the first Bakas to go. Owen just can be a wild card. But Sammy and Owen just have no dirt on them right now publicly, which is good for them, which allows them to be a bit more versatile and kind of spread out to other alliances and hopefully be picked up. Mm-hmm. I think the way that I see is actually working out well for both sides is if Sammy can get into the Coco 3, because I think Carla and James will understand that Sammy can be trustworthy.
Yeah.
And they will want to get rid of Ryan.
I think Sammy and
I think Sammy will replace Ryan in that foursome.
You seem to have like this. Again, this is probably just the edit, but I didn't see a whole lot about Ryan being. Probably because he wasn't, up for being voted out.
Yes.
But I don't know.
But if you look at the prior episode where Gio went home, it was very nearly Ryan.
I guess, yeah. But yeah.
Like, I think I just see it as Carla and James probably want to get rid of Ryan. He's not the most trustworthy, and he has a big head. But I think they get rid of Ryan, pull in like Sammy and Owen, and then it becomes a 5-4, 5-4-2, and that's honestly the best way. Honestly, in my opinion, that's the best way that they can come out. If Carla, James, and Cassidy take in Owen and Sammy, make it a 5-4-2.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's how they can do very well moving forward. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because at this point it gets really interesting because it's no longer a tribal, like, no one's safe, and it's also like you're not limited to your options.
Yeah,
so
the
when you look at the
tribe lines
four,
are not clear.
when you look at the four between Noel, Jesse, Dwight, and Cody, say one of them loses, say one of them wins immunity, say Cody does, Dwight, Jesse, and Noel are still there.
Yeah.
Like, it's not completely over.
Yep.
So it's gonna be interesting where that goes, and especially where the idols get used. Let's remember that Cody still has one, Janine still has one, Carla still has one, and Gabler doesn't.
Yes, and that's confirmed, I think. Noelle also doesn't have... Or no, Noelle still has the steel vote.
Yes, she does. But I was talking about specifically idols.
Right.
That Gabler, of which Gabler doesn't have one anymore. And I'm like, why? Why?
That was a fun time. When he almost did.
Like, I don't know who he would have played it for, but honestly, I don't know. I would have given it to Sammy to see what he does with it.
I don't know. That's a risk I wouldn't do.
No, I think it would have been really interesting, and I don't mean that literally. I just mean that as like curiosity. I'm really curious what would have happened if he would have given it to Sammy or Owen, like, because I think they would have taken it and given it to someone else. Yeah. In that sense, like physically give it to one of them and see what they would have done with it. Because I feel like you never know. Maybe they would have played it for Janine or Ellie. You never know. To keep that number.
Yeah, I think we're in for a very interesting episode coming up on Wednesday.
And with that said,
that'll do it for the super mega episode of the Crossroads of Reality podcast. And let's just pray that it doesn't take 3 weeks for us to get around to this again. Thank you all for listening.